There are some misconceptions in the YouTube Let's Play space and the YouTube gaming space in general as to what exactly a copyright claim is or does, so I thought it would be helpful to go over basically what happens when when a video on your channel is copyright claimed. A lot of people confuse Content ID claims as copyright strikes. Content ID claims are not a copyright strike. A copyright strike is when the owner of copyrighted content tells you, I want this video taken down, remove it, and you get a strike on your channel. If your channel gets 3 copyright strikes within 90 days, you can lose your channel. It can be taken down. But a Content ID claim is not a strike. It is simply a copyright owner marking your video saying, I recognize that my content is here, and they can block a video from being viewed in certain countries. They can block the video from being monetized, and they can track viewership statistics. Back to my channel, you can see most of my copyright claims are on Life is Strange, which if you know anything about the Life is Strange series, there's so much licensed content on here. But I did get a recent one here, so this is partially blocked. And if I hover over copyright, you can see that I have disputed this. But I can go in here and I can look at the details. This tells me what is being noted as being copyright material, where in the video this material is, and it will also, there we go, it'll also show up on here. So this little block that's here, this is where the content is, and I can skip forward and play the video so I can listen myself to what it is. And then hovering over here, it is telling me that it is blocking Russia from viewing this video. I don't really know why exactly. There may be certain legal issues in certain countries, and that's why it's being blocked. This is not necessarily a problem. What you need to do is go into your analytics. If you have a large enough channel, if you have a small channel, you're not going to have any data to really look at. But go into your audience, scroll down, and here you have your top geographies and where stuff is being viewed. So most of my content is people in the United States watching my videos. But if you look down here, I have almost 2% from Russia. So having that Content ID blocked is a bit of a problem. I have had Content ID blocked where the country didn't even show up on this list. If you don't have viewership in this country, this copyright claim doesn't matter. If you are a channel that's not monetizing your videos, doesn't matter. So you can have these copyright claims, you can just ignore them. You don't have to dispute them, because they're not affecting you in any way. But if in the future you would like to have your channel monetized, then you are missing out on possible income by having these Content ID claims. What you will hear over and over and over again in the gaming sector of YouTube is that people are afraid to dispute Content ID claims, because if you dispute, you can receive a copyright strike against your channel. And whenever somebody says that, a whole bunch of other people jump on their comment and say, actually, that's not true. And going in here, actually looking into YouTube's information, you can see that that's not true. It is possible, if you dispute a claim, for the claimant to then turn around and submit a takedown request. And if that happens, that results in a copyright strike against your channel. The reason that that is allowed is if you dispute a claim without a valid reason. So if the copyright holder believes that your reasoning is invalid and that you are wasting their time, then they are allowed to request the removal of your video, which results in a copyright strike on your channel. I don't like that this is a thing that they can do. It just feels retaliatory. I realize they want to cut down on people submitting bad claims, but this to me just seems like just a terrible way of handling it. Doesn't matter what I think or how I feel about it, but it is here. It is a part of this whole process. So when you are submitting a copyright dispute, it's important that you understand what free use is and that you have valid reasons for disputing that claim, which we will go over in a minute. When you submit a claim, the claimant, other than submitting a takedown request, they can release your claim. They can read your argument and say, you know what, we agree with you. We will release this claim. They can reinstate their claim. They can read your argument and say, we don't agree with it. We believe our claim is still valid. And in that case, they reject your dispute and the copyright claim stands. The other thing that happens is the claim can just expire. They have 30 days to respond to your dispute. And if they don't, then the copyright claim gets released. How a copyright claim occurs, or a content ID claim, those words get used interchangeably. They're using a tool, an automatic tool. So you want to call it an AI, you want to call it a bot, whatever. It is a tool that YouTube provides that searches YouTube for matches to the content. And then that content automatically gets a content ID claim. So companies are not searching YouTube and finding your videos and submitting a claim. They have other stuff to do. It's not worth their time searching YouTube for copyrighted content. This is an algorithm that is actively searching YouTube and is automatically submitting a claim on their behalf. So there is a chance when you dispute this content ID claim that companies don't even look at it because they don't have the time. They don't have the time to go through the millions and millions of videos that are on YouTube. I did a little experiment. Over the course of 6 months, I tracked how many copyright claims I received. So during this time, I played The Last of Us, Life is Strange, and I specifically waited to do this experiment while I was playing Life is Strange because I knew I would get a ton of claims on Life is Strange. And then I also went into Death Stranding, which got a bunch of claims. So everything on here that is not colored, these were claims that were dropped because claimant never responded. They never viewed the claim, they never responded to the claim, it just expired. Red is the claim was viewed and it was denied, and green is the claim was viewed and it was released. I have collected this data of the disputes that I put in. 43 of them dropped. So the vast majority of them were dropped after 30 days. They weren't even looked at. 36% of them were released. 21% rejected and kept the claim. If you are a channel that monetizes your videos, it is almost 80% in your favor to dispute a claim because it will either expire or it will be released. There's about a 20% that actually get rejected, and then you have to question if you want to proceed to the appeal process. After a dispute is rejected, you can go in. This was rejected. If I decide I don't like that, I can then appeal. We're not going to go over that in this video. I am planning to make another video going over appeals. I'm still experimenting with that and deciding what is safe. Anytime, if you have any question as to whether or not you have disputed a claim, you can just go into your videos and click filter. So here I have all my videos. And click on copyright, and it will bring up every single video on your channel that has a copyright. And it is possible for really old videos that have never had a copyright claim to suddenly get one. So this one from forever ago, it has my old logo on it. This is one of the first Let's Plays I ever did. So this is 2015. It's in dispute. I disputed this a few days ago. So it's possible for really old videos to just suddenly get claims. It happens. If you're ever in question of, oh no, have I disputed this? Is this in dispute? Is this new? You can search your thing and you can't see it here. I don't like that you can't see it here, but I can go in and hit details and I can see dispute rejected. So you don't need to worry about forgetting what you're doing. They also don't mention here is they can decide to share revenue with you, which is nice. Let's say you get one of these and you want to dispute it. How do you do that in a way that you don't get retaliated against, or at least minimizes your risk of getting retaliated against? I have disputed every single copyright claim that I've come across and I've never gotten a copyright strike. So I can tell you that no one's looked at my argument and said your argument is invalid. I believe it's safe to say that my method is sound. I'm going to click on one of these because this is one that I haven't done the process on. these aren't Let's Play videos, these are music videos that I put together. So the content owner, that their song plays 100% throughout the video. These aren't videos that I actually want to monetize. This is something I did for fun, and I'm happy that it's on YouTube, and anyway, it's not worth arguing. I'd probably lose the argument. But I can go in here anyway. Since this is one I haven't disputed before, I can show you. Yeah, they just marked the whole thing. They should have marked more of it. I can go in here and I can show you what the process is like. So YouTube will let you, if you don't want to dispute, if you feel like dispute, that's too much of a risk, you can try to replace the song with music that YouTube has. It's not a great, you're never going to find YouTube music that matches up well with what was here. You can also mute the song, which in my experience with this is it doesn't mute the song, it mutes the entire section. So any other sound, like your commentary or audio from the game, everything's gone. It mutes the entire section. So this isn't a good tool either. So I want to dispute this content. It is important to understand what fair use is. Owning a copy of the song in the game, so you bought a CD, or you bought something on iTunes, or Spotify, or wherever it is that people buy music nowadays, that does not mean that you own the copyright or that you have the right to use the song in anything. You do not own a license of the song. You just own a copy of it that you purchased, that you are personally allowed to listen to. You're not allowed to use it. So this is not, owning a copy of the song is not a valid reason. The fact that you are not making money from the video does not mean that you have the right to use it. So even though your content isn't monetized, the copyright owner can still mark it and say, that is my content and I don't want you using it. Giving credit to the copyright owner, again, means nothing. And you can learn more about these, but basically these are not valid reasons, and if you put these in your dispute, then you are likely to get a copyright strike because the owner will look at it and say, this person doesn't understand how copyright works, and they'll strike your channel. My dispute isn't based on any of these reasons. You gotta click that box. And then you want to select why you're disputing this claim. Original content means that you own everything in the video. Even though you are playing a video game, in this case, if I was playing Dragon Age Inquisition, yes, the playthrough is mine, but the video, I don't own the video game. I don't own the rights. I didn't build, I'm not BioWare. I didn't make Dragon Age Inquisition. I don't own Dragon Age Inquisition. I own a copy of the game, which I am allowed to play, but I'm not allowed to distribute that game. I don't own it. I didn't make it. I didn't develop it. And any music in the game, I don't own. I didn't develop. So don't click this. This is incorrect. You did not purchase a license to use the music. You did not purchase a license to develop or redistribute the game. So don't click that. We are saying that we believe we fall under fair use. So this is what you want. Public domain is that there's no copyright holder, and that's not true at all. We're saying that this is fair use. What does that mean? Well, we'll get to it. Fair use is unfortunately a very gray area. There's no set, this is absolutely fair use, and no one can argue against it. There's no such thing. There are arguments that go back and forth. No one wins until a court decides. So this is a very gray area. You want to make sure that you're putting forward valid arguments. But even with a valid argument, it is perfectly within the copyright holder's right and power to say, I reject this argument. So be aware of that. So as I was saying, each case is different. There is no magic formula to determine. They put forward here some types of reuse that may be okay. Parodies are usually more likely to be considered fair use. Common misconceptions. Again, as we went over, giving credit to the copyright owner doesn't mean that you can just use it. That's not how it works. Anyway. We're going to put, I believe I'm protected under fair use. Hit continue. And then they want your rationale. So you go in here and you say, this is a gameplay video. And then I highly recommend typing up a script, which I have done, and saving it. This is the basic script that I use. So this is a gameplay video of insert game title here, whatever that may be. The song plays automatically as part of the game and is not added content. So I am telling the content owner, I didn't put the song in the video. It is part of the game that I am playing. the license was purchased to use the song in the game. I've been adding the game studio. So license was purchased by, in this case, Don't Nod is the developer for Life is Strange. So I would put purchased by Don't Nod Studio. So I'm telling them I am not the license holder. So that is important to reiterate. Just because a license was purchased by Don't Nod does not mean that I can now use the song. That's not how that works. But I am telling them this song is part of the game. I didn't add it. And that a license was purchased by the game developer for the song to be in the game. So this is stuff that is out of my control, but I am letting the copyright holder know that they have been monetarily compensated for the use of that song. That doesn't automatically mean like, hey, you've already been paid for this. That doesn't mean that I have the right to use it, but I'm putting this argument forward as a consideration. I'm giving them the information for them to decide whether or not they care that the song exists in my video. That's all that I'm doing. Is saying, hey, this might not be that big of a deal for you. Then I am adding that the song is overlaid with gameplay audio and personal commentary. And I have changed this up a lot. So it's overlaid with personal commentary, reacting to the game. People in general, a reaction to things is seen more as fair use if you're reacting to something. It's letting the content owner know I didn't just copy your stuff and then upload it as mine. I am adding value to what is out there because I am offering my own opinion and personal commentary on it as a reaction. This is more likely to be seen as fair use. So it's important to put that in there. And then reacting to the game and gameplay audio. So in this case, depending on the video, I have started expanding this and saying what other audio is in there. Usually there's character dialogue and then any kind of ambience. So there might be footsteps. Disco Elysium, there were soft ocean sounds. So I put that in there. Ocean noises, seagulls, squawking, the sound of waves. I will get very detailed as to basically the more stuff I can put in here to say this covers up the song. It's not a clean recording of the song can help in saying I'm not infringing on your copyright because you can't even hear the piece, basically, is what we're saying. So I believe in here, Alex was in the pub. So ambient pub noises, background conversation, probably muffled. You can understand what that is. Muffled background conversation and the sound of cleaning up silverware and dishes. So the sound of silverware clinking, something like that. Silverware and dishware. So basically saying all the stuff is in here and covering up the actual music. It is not suitable for listening to the original song because it's covered up by all this other stuff. And the song does not play in its entirety. You can almost always say that. A lot of times the songs will loop if they play for a while. It just helps to say, I didn't use your whole thing. The entire song isn't in here. The more that you can put forward just a little bit was used, the more of an argument you have that you're not infringing on copyright. And I'm considering saying exactly how long a song plays. I would go in here and I would see, okay, this plays for 24 seconds out of a 33-minute video. So then I would put here, the song plays for 25 seconds out of a 33-minute video. So basically, once you fill all this out, you just copy it all in here. I'm not infringing on your copyright. I understand that the claimant will be able to review this, and I understand that filing fraudulent disputes may result in termination of my YouTube account. So you are clicking that. This is what scares people away and why they don't want to fill this out. So you're clicking all of it. You put in your legal name, not your YouTube name. I wouldn't put Liara Gaming. I would put my actual real legal name, and then I would hit submit. I'm not going to hit submit because I'm not disputing this, but I would submit it. I would get a email to the email that's associated with my channel by YouTube saying your dispute has been submitted, and then you can see on these videos in dispute. And you got 30 days to see what happens. In most cases, it's either released or it is expired. In most cases. You can see these are in escrow. And what that means is that the ad revenue is being held during the dispute. So it's important when a copyright claim happens that you go in and dispute it, because if your channel is monetized, all that ad revenue that you could be getting, especially during the first month that a video is up, is where you're going to see most of your revenue. If your channel is monetized, you want to dispute this as quickly as possible, because all of that revenue will be held. YouTube won't distribute it to you or the claimant until the dispute is made. I hope that this clears up some questions on copyright disputes and how they work and what the risk is to you. And again, I am experimenting with the appeals. So hopefully in a couple months, I will put out a video on appeals and the best way to handle that. If you have any additional comments about your own copyright experience, anything you think might be missing from this video that you would like me to cover, any questions you still have, definitely leave them in the comments below. And if this helped you, let me know. I see so many people that are afraid to even use this and try, and I would like to see people not be afraid of it and exercising their right to dispute their claims. You should be able to make a good faith argument to say, hey, I think this should be released. And I don't think that it's right that so many people are afraid that their whole channel is going to be lost if they try. That was the point. Demystify the process. Awareness is half the battle. So I hope that that has helped you. And hopefully in a few months, I will have a new video on copyright appeals. Thanks so much for watching.